Hello, just wanted to quick give you an update on industrial hemp. I'm actually took a stab at applying for a license and tried to go over an acre of this year. It was very costly. I ended up putting about $1,300, maybe $1,400 worth of money into seed, shipping, gas back and forth. Paying people to come in here with equipment, paying them when they got stuck because it was so wet. So pretty expensive little process for an acre. We were going after fiber, so we were not going after the CBD oil. I was a little too scared of how to process that and where to bring it and do all that good stuff, so I was going to stick with fiber. I was actually going to build a seed vault slash root cellar with those leftover telephone poles and use the hemp to insulate it, so it's hempcrete. All I need is the shaft of the plant in order to do that. As you can see, not very good success here whatsoever. We did have a student come out from UW-Madison who's working on her PhD in industrial hemp. She did come out here, do a site visit. She happened to be in town for something. We just for the food summit, and we grabbed her and talked to her about, what happened here, what went wrong. And she basically said two things. It's basically the wet. As you can see, it's just it's literally the wettest Wisconsin growing season or whatever it is on record since the 1870s, I believe. So, and we still got a couple more weeks. I noticed in the weather we got more rain coming in 2 days. So the wet definitely played a factor in the fact that we just could not get in here. It was so wet, the tractors kept getting stuck. We just couldn't physically get out here to get any of this field prepped. So we really didn't get this the seed into the ground until darn near June. I believe it was 21st during the solstice. So we should have probably had this in at least maybe at the end of May, which would have gave us a couple more weeks to get on it. So again, this is part of farming, I guess. I'm pretty new myself. I'm not an expert in this. I did get a lot of pointers and tips from a lot of good people, and a couple of us tried really hard here to make this work, but it just didn't pan out. Like I said, I got some plants here, but nothing worth loading up a semi-load of this stuff and going somewhere. My thoughts kind of go to the Oneida tribe, who tried to also plant. I believe they had some of the same kind of seed that we did. They were more than likely dealing with the water issue. Again, wettest year on record. So, and we still got a couple months of rain, so it has to be affecting their hemp too, and their ability to get into those fields with those machines. So yeah, another aspect too that I personally, just the FYI, if people were interested in growing themselves, it is pretty costly. Again, $1,300 is probably sitting in this field for sure. I did spend quite a bit of time trying to keep up on the weeds. I was told that a lot of information that just turned out not to be true by a lot of people, that this is some kind of super plant that can just grow anywhere. Obviously that is not the case. I was even told you could throw it in the water and it will grow. You don't even need to weed it, that it would actually dominate this field. As you can see, these weeds definitely love that horse poop and aquaponics filter clean water that I was wheelbarrowing and adding to the soil out here. So the weeds did really amazing, but the hemp just did not take off here. So again, with the tribe, my expectations, I'd be surprised if they got a pretty decent crop myself, but they got a lot more knowledgeable people. I'm just a pretty amateur out here trying to figure out how to do this. So and that's what I would caution you going forward, is that a lot of people are going to pipe in that so-and-so grew this, and they're going to quote numbers and yields and so forth, and so many variables factor into that. Maybe they have a factory where they can drive a trailer load of their stuff, that's within 10 miles of their place where they're trying to grow. That would definitely impact it. Maybe they had a really good growing season. Maybe their soil was tip-top shape. Maybe they stuck $8,000 worth of herbicide, pesticide to keep these weeds down. On a grand scale, they had the money for the $100,000 modified combine to knock all this down and harvest it. They had the drying facilities where you can take it, because I believe for food it's like a 4 to 6 hour drying time. So those things kind of all factor into the mix. So you can't really compare, my success or Oneida's success to just any random person's. Maybe this is their, fifth year doing this. They figured out all these kinks and bugs, and, they're pros now. This is just basically our first year. So, yeah. So if you're interested in getting into hemp, I wouldn't give up on it. I think there's a future in this. I'm still going after the fiber. I think that's where I feel comfortable growing with, and I want to take another crack at this, but with a little bit different game plan and different expectations.